Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay today. We are getting ready for round number 7 here at Bathurst, Mount Panorama in beautiful Australia. The mountain is a wonderful place to watch cars go around track, and we've got some multi-class action tonight that's going to be pretty spicy with the speed and technicality that we're going to experience tonight. So to get things kicked off, I'm Philip Milwee, and in the booth with me, as always, is Mr. Finicini. Finn, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing a little bit better now that I'm not sitting in a car, so I get to go watch cars turn in much more interesting circles than the flat of Kansas I saw most of today.
Yeah, the flat plains of Kansas can be a bit boring at times, but also you got a good podcast. It can be kind of therapeutic too, I bet. Dad is in the chat. Hello, Dad. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully we're going to get some good racing action tonight for you to enjoy. And it's not a night race, so good for you. Good on you. You're going to be able to actually see the cars. Yeah, we're here at Mount Panorama. Finn, we've got 3 car classes. Not a lot of multi-class racing happens at Mount Panorama. There's like a few, but it's going to be pretty interesting. What are your thoughts so far?
Given the last time I've seen multi-class happen, it was very unique. I think it's going to be another interesting one, especially given the kind of similar pace between the LMP3 and the GT3s. As I say similar, it's not the same. The LMP3s are a little more aero, so they'll be a little bit faster, especially on the mountain itself. It'll definitely be an interesting situation watching those two tango, and then in the process, try to not step on the toes of the GT4 as they're working around in the process.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult. Patience is gonna be a virtue. I think most of the drivers. I was talking with Giancarlo about this before we jumped in the booth, and he's like thinking that a lot of drivers are going to be afraid they're going to crash. I would just say assume you're going to crash. Like, you're going to want to focus on how do you stay out of the pits as much as possible. How do you use those fast repairs? It already looks chaotic, right? Like everything.
Yeah, especially given we just saw with Corey Lobner, and I believe that was Gian Cardoso. Yep. I definitely got to imagine it'll be like a sure thing in life, death, taxes, and having a moment on the mountain are the 3 things in life that are constants, that no matter what you want to do to try to avoid it, it'll happen at some point. And it's really just minimizing what those moments turn out to be. So instead of like the incident or the crashes that we're likely also going to see, getting the opportunity to just have it be maybe a little bit of a slide or a lift and coast to not run into the GT4. And, you're losing a little bit of time, but you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's going to be real tricky. And I'm hoping that people are going to, I'm hoping that cooler heads are going to prevail. That said, we should talk real quick because we got less than 2 minutes left in free practice before we go into qualifying. Let's jump through the points real fast because you did a lot of work in the background that people did not get to see getting set up for the point totals for this series. Let's go ahead and get that popped up for... So, I've got GT3. Let's switch to LMP3 Pro first. We'll do LMP3 Pro first. So, Luke Patrick, 256 points. By the way, this is calculated with 1 drop round, with this being round 7. There are 2 drop rounds in a season. 256 for Luke Patrick. Jaden Ledbetter with 228. Vincent LaRue, 222. So, real tight there up at the top. Giancarlo actually not outside of the realm of sneaking in and taking a podium here. And then we got 5, 6, and 7 pretty compressed with Mark Coyne, 195, Ben O'Shea, 183, Scott Fleming, 183. And I think that I think it's going to be we're going to see some real close tussling here in LMP3 Pro. LMP3 AM. Let's take a look. I don't know if you can see these, Finn. Is there anything that pops out to you for LMP3 AM?
In LMP3 AM, Jake Fulton having a fantastic run with the 183, kind of almost equivalent to some of our LMP3 Pro drivers that are out there. Emery Anderson, as well. Sorry, Cameron Robertson, as well as Emery Anderson. I would say each kind of pretty much in their solid positions, but Cameron Robertson, I think, definitely could have with a solid couple final rounds. could make a bid for the top step of the podium. I think it has to be really good rounds, and Jake Fulton has to have really not good rounds here in the closing stages to where those don't become drop round, or where they become drop rounds for him and don't increase his point total at all. And then the inverse happens where Cameron Robertson is able to use a different one or just add to the points there. So it's possible, but not likely unless we see some amazing driving out of Cameron Robertson here in the closing stages.
Indeed. Let's jump over into those GT3 numbers now. With the one drop round calculated, Ethan Hamlet jumps back to the top, 244. Tommy Cogan, 236, probably the closest that we've seen those two all season. We're getting ready to go into qualifying. I'll jump through these real quick. Kyle Potter with 212, Sean Sullivan. So we got Sean Sullivan, Christopher Blue, Bruno Clemente, 188, 185, 163, respectively. I think we've got some close action here in GT3 to watch towards the end of the season. Finn, real quick, while we're getting ready to follow along with somebody, let's talk about those GT3 or GT4 Pro finishers right now. What do you see?
I'll scrub through those really quick. And I say scrub loosely. 231 for Tanner Schiffner, Corey Laubner 208. I think just the drop rounds being the factor there in the points gap. I think Corey Laubner with a good, solid couple finishes can find himself back up in a fight with Tanner Schiffner for that top spot. The 1 point difference between Ryan Buchanan and Andrew Matthias for third and fourth is where they're currently standing, as well as Paul York, who is only 2 points behind them. That battle for the third place on the podium, not at all resolved. And I think if they have even better rounds, they may make a bid for further up the podium, or at least solidify who they're fighting with there. 174, 173, Jake Hewitt, Matt Pyle, just beyond those drivers, a close fight there for would essentially become P6, if I remember correctly. And then really with Nick Bowen with the 163, as well as Sophie Bozeman and Stephen Wallace. A lot of tight battles closing in here at the end of the season.
Indeed. Let's go check out the GT4 AM runners now. In GT4 AM, John Newman on top right now with 152. Oscar Brown, 147. John Newman's had some really rough luck, especially last week at Homestead. I'm really hoping that he has a cleaner weekend, has a little bit better luck. But another weekend like that, Oscar Brown is in contention here. Eduardo Zamora, Logan Branson, Eduardo Zamora and Logan Branson pretty much locked in their battle right now. And I'm not entirely sure how many of the others further on down the order have actually gotten into the mix here. I do see we got some that are kind of sorted out here with Drew Friedman and Gab Chavez. I know a lot of these are like newcomers, and welcome to everyone here who's a newcomer, but to this season of the Sports Car Series. So there's going to be some more interesting stuff here for GT4 AM. Let's jump into qualifying. We do have some people that are already out on track, so we're going to clear this out of the way and get the qualifying numbers pulled up. Or actually, the overlay is going to break. Does this look familiar to you, Finn?
This seems about right.
Yep, seems about right.
It doesn't break at least once a stream. I think it means the stream is cursed.
Yep. So what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go ahead and shut that down, and we'll get
clean on board.
Yep.
I suppose.
Yep. Good stuff, man. I love it. It's good.
Right.
And I guess it's not gonna come back. We're gonna try and see if we can get the overlay back. This has been an absolute battle with SDK this week. It has been crazy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and see if we can get those qualifying results pulled up here in a second. One moment to try and get
I love that.
To show up.
I don't know that we need to really highlight it outside of a quick look. Vincent LaRue on a flyer, but with this new livery that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I know Jaden talked about it. Vincent is a new paint job as a result of a out of league endurance team swap from TRE to, I believe it was. Oh man, I can go pull it up. Give me a second. What the full name of that is? I'm sure it's on the side of it. I'm just blind.
Hopefully get. I'm gonna pop open studio mode real quick. Switch over to the SDK scene and
Passion Sim.
Get it to function, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
that is Passion Sim Esport that Vincent is now driving with. I'm driving for. I see. The timing's back, right?
Yeah, we do have some timing showing up right now. We do have some folks that have already popped on the timing board. We've got Vincent LaRue with a 2-minute 41 actually goes to the top.
Ooh.
Doesn't look like we can see it with the
good save there out of Vincent.
with the timing and scoring that we got right now. We're going to pop that open real quick. We'll leave it open like this, folks. That's probably going to give us our best shot at seeing what these numbers are with this busted overlay. Anyway, so taking a look right now, let's jump down. Let's go find some folks in. Let's look. We got Tommy Cogan. We got Mike Bowen. Where's Ethan Hamlet at right now? We got to check and see where Ethan is in qualifying right now. Ethan.
He's just coming down out of the mountain.
Yeah.
And back towards the start finish straight.
Yeah, and purple in sectors 2 and 3 right now as he's getting ready to go into Murray's Corner. When we get to the phase where we can get an onboard with somebody, I'll take people around for a trip around the mountain. Let's go ahead and take a peek. We do have some other folks that are getting ready to come across the line. I'll go find one of them right now. Benjamin O'Shea's one of them. Let's see if we can get an onboard real quick with Ben. So he just came out of Hell Corner, and he is headed now up the mountain. Mountain straight. Getting ready to set up a time lap here. Currently sitting in second with a 2-minute .09. Luke Patrick with a 1:59.83 on top of LMP3 through Corey into the cutting. This right here is going to be very difficult for multi-class cars to navigate into Griffin's Bend as he goes up into, I believe, Solomon Park. Again, just basically being as brave as possible as he goes into McPhillamy and into Skyline. This right here, braking zone, very difficult with the sudden drop off at Skyline through the dipper. Again, trying to stay as close to the wall as possible. Lining up for Forest Elbow. Another area where the multi-class is going to be very difficult to navigate. And now down Conrad Straight. This right here, this is going to be real tough for LMP3s, GT3s. Comparable in terms of power, the downforce that's provided to the LMP3 is probably going to produce a little bit more drag than they would like. And in a drag race, I think the GT3s are going to give them a run for their money as they get ready to go into the chase. On the brakes as he gets ready to go into the left-hander. Navigating the quarter quite well. And then on the brakes for the final corner at Murray's before he's going to get us a time lap. Let's see what Benjamin O'Shea can put on the board. Does improve his time, but not his position. He's going to have to live with that one. I think. Oh, he might get another bite at the apple. We're going to take a look real quick, Finn. Is there anyone in timing and scoring that's sticking out to you?
I mean, across the timing tower, Mark Coyne getting just ahead of Benjamin O'Shea with that 1:59.93. Fantastic result. Vincent LaRue getting another time on the board. Not a complete one, though. Is almost done with his third lap in the LMP3s. Ethan Hamlet and Mike Bowen both getting Ethan Hamlet setting a 2:01 and topping that timing tower. And then the rest of the field being a couple seconds behind Ethan, and then Mike being a second behind him. All interesting there. I would love to see a lap from the GT4s if we can squeeze one in. Just see who's done most of a lap here.
Well, we do. We actually have a few people that we can check in on in a minute. Mike Bowen does improve his time, but does not improve his position relative to Ethan Hamlet. Taking a look at the GT4s real quick, we do have Tanner Schiffner on a charge.
He's getting done.
Yeah, with a 2:13. We're gonna hop on board with Mr. Paul York as he gets ready to go into Murray's Corner. That's gonna be something that all the Paul York fans in chat are gonna love. So definitely give a shout out in chat for your man as we get ready to start a flying lap in the Porsche with Mr. Paul York. Paul York, for the folks that don't know, Paul York started out in GT4 AM, which goes down in history as the biggest misplacement ever. And then got upgraded to GT4 Pro and currently sits, if I remember correctly, I believe he's 4th or 5th in GT4. Oh, he's aborting it. So he
Yes,
ended up.
I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he's done. Well,
His
he
laps.
had 2 laps. I know that there's some other people that
Yeah.
took a shot at 3. Like for
Yep.
example,
We
I believe
have
Jake Hewitt. No, Jake Hewitt's going in the pits.
30 seconds left, so it might be why
Ah,
we are wrapping up
that's
the
probably why
qualifying.
we're wrapping it up. Okay, we'll get the grid posted for you folks here in a minute. But anyway, so Paul York currently sitting in 5th, I believe, in GT4 Pro, and throwing elbows with
Yes.
some really tough players in that field. So we're gonna see what Paul York's got in store for him here on the mountain. Taking a look through, let's see if we can get the grid information pulled up. We should have it posted. So we'll see if we can get it set up. Let me get it set for here.
Transition over. It should be set now.
Oh, let me clear it first and then bring it up. Bad. All right, here we go. So on top with let's go to LMP3 Pro for starters. So we've got Luke Patrick on pole position with Mark Coyne lining alongside him on row 1, the hardest working man in sim racing. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Benjamin O'Shea.
It was a fantastic run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's only 4/10 back from Luke Patrick right now. Benjamin O'Shea, Jaden Ledbetter, second row of the grid with Vincent LaRue lined up alongside Gian Cardoso. Again, Gian Cardoso right outside that top 3. I'm really interested to see what he can do. We got Cameron Robertson, Emery Anderson. So close battle in the LMP3 AM category with Tyler Crow, newcomer, swapping over to LMP3 AM, bringing up 9th. What about those GT3 cars, Finn?
GT3 is going to see Ethan Hamlet alongside Gab Chavez. We're going to have Mike Bowen, probably alongside Tommy Kogan, I believe. Tyler Crow's splitting the difference there, but we'll see him tag on to the end of the LMP3 field here in a moment from where he's moved up just a little bit. And then we'll see Sean Sullivan alongside Christopher Blue, as well as Ryan Nolan and Kerry Nolan, rounding out the 8-car GT3 field before we get into the almost quite double that GT4 field.
Excellent. Let's go take a look down now at that GT4 field you were talking about. So Jake Hewitt, Tanner Schiffner on the front row of the grid with Matt Pyle, Ryan Buchanan. Oscar Brown's going to line up alongside Paul York with Corey Lobner and Dave Schneider. They're going to be 7th and 8th in GT4 with Eduardo Zamora. We got Adrien Maruzek. That's a newcomer. She's showing up as a GT3, so I'm not sure if that's just an out of placement there. But then we got Logan Branson and Sophie Bozeman 11th and 12th with Andrew Seelig and John Newman 13th, 14th.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be just a mix-up in the timing tower or somewhere like that, because I see her as or see him. See them, well, they'll correct us in post, as a McLaren GT4, one of the 570Ss.
Okay, all right. I'm going to get her updated in the driver overlays. Wow, it looks like we are doing, are we doing a full-blown?
Abbreviated pace lap.
Okay, so we're going to be in Murray's Corner before it's too long.
Yep.
So we're going to get that track map pulled up, because that's going to be something to pay attention to. This field's going to get bunched up in more ways than one. It does look like we've already got some cars crashed on the pace lap, but we'll find out here in a minute. And Luke gets a jump, and away we go. We got Benjamin O'Shea, I believe, on the inside of Mark Coyne as they get ready to go into Hell Corner.
That is the case. Benjamin O'Shea getting a great run there. Going to keep 2x2 pretty much across a lot of the field. Vincent LaRue getting ahead of Jaden right behind those two. And I believe we're going to see Ethan Hamlet lead off the GT3 field to a pretty successful start.
Yep. With Mike Bowen cutting off the nose of Gab Chavez as they go into Hell Corner, and they're basically single file as they get ready to go up into the mountain. Jake Hewitt, however, he's already come across the line, and he's got a good jump. And I believe we got Tanner Schiffner being chased down now by Matt Pyle with Ryan Buchanan. Oscar Brown's going to hold his station in 5th, and GT4s are tussling as we get ready to go into the mountain section. Let's jump on board with those LMP3 runners. Let's look at Jaden Ledbetter, who kind of out of place right now as he gets ready to go into McPhilmy Park for the first time.
I think this is going to be one of the tracks I think he's a little more cautious with. I think he's playing the long game there, but just trying to keep the car out of the wall, which is always the first step of winning a Bathurst or coming anywhere close to the podium, is keeping your car as undamaged as possible.
Yeah. Speaking of which, about undamaged as possible, I'm trying to see what's going on here because I'm seeing some tussling here between Corey Lobner and Paul York. They've had passes that have gone back and forth. They're getting ready to go into McPhillamy Park. The Mustang is right there, and a touch of the curb, that's going to give maybe Corey. No, he backs out of it before they hit Skyline.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not that crazy. They go into the dipper.
No. Paul York is a little late on the brakes there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time and keep Corey close. I think we're going to see a couple cars crash initially. Cameron Robertson, I think, is the only big one there after the green flag. The rest of the field pretty much getting through lap number 1 successfully.
Yeah, Corey Lobner really trying to just pile the pressure up on Paul York as they get ready to go into the chase. Wow, hopping the curb like that. Talk about brave as they go into the chase. Corey Lobner on the grass.
Yep. Well, yeah, Paul York getting a little bit out of shape there as well.
And I believe we've got Eduardo Zamora here just saying, you know what, I'll take whatever you guys are willing to throw away. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Yeah. Wanting to get that done. Ryan Nolan coming into the pit lane, I think after an incident there with a bit of, I think, internet issues as well. We saw him drop to the end of the order real quick, but then saw him continue down towards the chase at a much slower speed than I think I was anticipating. So I think that sees why he ended up off track and then on track. So.
Indeed. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Yeah, I see it now. It looks like I've got the wrong color. I believe the class is correct for Adrian, but I'm going to add in that color now, and hopefully everything will look a little bit better for Adrian Maruzek in the 112 now in GT4 AM. So the battle between Corey Lobner, Paul York, calming down a little bit. Corey Lobner finds his way around. Jaden Ledbetter found his way, was trying to find his way around Gian Cardoso. We do have some crashes that have happened. I'm going to go back and take a look real quick because I'm trying to figure out how Mark Coyne suddenly tumbled down as far as he did. But I don't see him as passed. Maybe that was just on the earlier part of the lap. Let's figure out what happened to Tyler Crow. So it looks like we're up in the mountain section getting to Griffin's Bend and then just loses the back end of the car on the exit and into the wall of Solomon Park. He's in the middle of the road. He jumps to the pits quickly, so very smart for him. Gab Chavez here. This is the chasing of, I believe that is Mike Bowen. He touches the grass at McPhillamy Park and manages to survive to tell the tale.
Oh, my gosh.
Great
recovery there.
Yeah, we got another crash here. This one's Eduardo Zamora. This was part of the battle we were watching as they were going up the mountain. Paul York now on the inside at Druids and just spins Eduardo around. Eduardo being patient. Nope, he's going back to the pits. Unfortunate. And I believe that is all of our crashes so far. So we're going to jump back into the live action and take a peek around track because the closest battle on track right now, Gian Cardoso is just nipping at the heels of Jaden Ledbetter. Taking a look through the rest of the data, Finn, and I don't really see a whole lot of closeness on the intervals. What are you seeing?
It's pretty spread out. I think that's the nature of Bathurst is the groups kind of spread out pretty quickly. Tommy Cogan, or excuse me, Gab Chavez, Mike Bowen still trying to figure out where they want to be in respective to each other, as well as Tanner Schiffner just holding Jake Hewitt, waiting for that mistake to happen. Matt Pyle and Ryan Buchanan kind of right behind them as well, looking for the pass to get done. So a few pockets of fights. David Schneider as well as Logan Branson, Sophie Bozeman, while not all for position, do see all of them under.
It does look like we might have a crash.
Jump. Ooh.
Let's see
What
what
happened to
happened there.
Logan?
Yeah, Logan's getting ready to go
Yeah.
into the cutting. Did he just lose the back end on the Porsche?
Mm.
Okay.
No, this is the this.
Oh, he gets pit
That's
maneuvered.
ooh.
Like has a slow entry, gets the pit maneuver, and
Yeah.
then one of the AMGs gets around him, and then Logan Branson back to the pits. I think damage limitation is going to be the nature of the day in terms of trying to make sure that you can try and minimize your time in the pits. Let's jump on the nose cam as we go into Murray's corner here. Experience with I said Druids earlier. It's Quarry Bend. I'm a ding dong. I looked at the track map. I was just thinking about this. I was like, I can't remember the last time I called a race here. But it's been so long. But anyway, so experience with Mount Panorama, Finn. Like, what's a good memory for you for this track?
One of my favorites is actually pretty recent. This past year, the 12 hours of Bathurst. So GT3 is like what we have out here, but with none of the multi-class nonsense, except for other lapped cars being the multi-class things we have to battle for that race. 12 hours of racing around on the mountain. One of my favorite things to do over the course of the year. I think it was one of my first enduros outside of the 20. It was like my first full year of endurance racing. Saw it after the Daytona 24. We got a P2 there. We got another decent result. I don't remember exactly where we ended up that year, but it sparked my love. And then this past year we ended up doing really well. It's so much fun to rip up and down the mountain in any car. I think there's no exception to that rule for me. Is why I'm super excited that I have the time and ability to do the Bathurst 1000 this year, plus the Super Formula Lights Championship that's happening also at Bathurst. I'm like, I will have so much fun at Bathurst machines. I don't usually get to drive around here, and it'll be fantastic to see all the same. Keep an eye on Mark Coyne here, who's found his way back up into third.
Yeah,
we have more cars in the pit lane across me talking about things. A lot more.
Jaden Ledbetter. We got Vincent LaRue. We got Tyler Crow. We've got a number of folks in the pit lane. Just looking back through the data right now, I'm trying to figure out what happened to Jaden that put him to the pits. Let's take a look at. So Benjamin O'Shea crashed. Okay, so we got a couple of crashes. So let's go take a look at this one with Vincent LaRue. So we're going into Skyline right now, and he looks fine. I mean, is he going to touch the grass there? And there's the spin into the wall. So there's a touch, and a whole host of cars just getting kind of like dinged around there. That was Benjamin O'Shea. Yeah. And then we've got Tyler Crow into the back of Vincent LaRue, and that's basically it for both of them.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a slam.
Also narrowly avoiding that in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was crazy. Vincent,
tries to go, and then oh gosh, just such a rough one. Trying to figure out what happened with, like you said, with what happened with Jaden amongst all that.
Well, Jaden looked like he got through okay. I just don't understand what happened there. But we're back with the GT4 action here. We got Tanner Schiffner still chasing down Jake Hewitt. We got the BMWs have just been so strong this season in GT4. I mean, if I'm taking a look at those manufacturer points right now for GT4, BMW is currently sitting with 503 and Porsche with 444. Mustang with 433. And that's the big gap in GT4 for manufacturers. But M4s are basically just like ruling the day right now.
Man. What? I'm trying to find a couple of things real quick.
Yes, sir. We're going to keep taking a look at this action as we do have some LMP3 traffic that is starting to catch up to GT4s. And oh boy, here we go. I believe that is Vincent LaRue in his new paint job after going back to the pits. He's at Forest Elbow, and he's going to try and find his way around Tanner Schiffner. The Conrad Straight's going to make it a nice place to find his way around. It's just, is he going to get to it before he's going to get around before he gets to the chase? But I think he's going to be behind Jake Hewitt as they go into that final chicane. Can I get a check in chat? Hopefully audio levels, game audio, visuals are looking okay, other than the overlays. We're not going to talk about it. But hopefully everything else looks good. Does find his way around Jake Hewitt. Corey Lobner back on the bumper of Oscar Brown right now, who's still holding 5th overall, which is good for him. Corey Lobner a little deep on the brakes at Murray's. Does manage to get it back on track. And across the line, Corey Lobner is going to have to build back up to catch back up to Oscar Brown. Oscar Brown with that buffer, going to put up some really good points on John Newman, because while we got GT4 Pro, GT4 AM, they are scored together, so that buffer could potentially provide a nice cushion for Oscar Brown to potentially jump over John Newman in the standings. Next closest battle, we got Mike Bowen, Gab Chavez still going at it.
Yeah. Mike Bowen, Gab Chavez, I think, as well as Jaden Ledbetter, really not for position, obviously, but for overall spots, has to slide through there. You'll see that relative kind of fluctuate a little bit with that one. Real quick, well, Phil, when you get a second, excuse me, are you in the correct room that I'm trying to also join, so that way I'm seeing what you're seeing a lot easier?
No, I'm in. Just add number 1 to the end of Track Limits Racing Local, and that should get you in there. Yeah, I have to switch to that so that I can become a commentator again, but that's okay. We are, 13 minutes have gone by. I feel like I've run like a 400-yard dash. Right now, or a 400-meter dash. I am really just the information's just coming at us so quickly. It's just ridiculous. But we do have a crash right here. It does look like Jaden Ledbetter does split Gab Chavez and Mike Bowen. Let's go take a look. And Gab Chavez just scrapes the wall of Solomon Park. We're gonna keep our eye on Gab real quick before we jump over and take a look at that crash into Skyline. He is not messing around.
Car looks generally okay. Just a little bit of a touch there, but I think he's really trying to keep up with Mike Bowen there. Kind of frustrated, I think, a little bit with having Jaden cut the difference when they were in such a close distance of each other prior.
Indeed. 15 people in chat tuning in for round number 3 at Bathurst. Thank you so much for being here. Track Limits Sports Car Series. We are going to be closing out the 2025 season with a final round on January 3rd. So first race of 2026, part of the previous season. It'll be the finale at Red Bull Ring, 100 minutes for the feature race. That should be a real humdinger. So hopefully you'll be there with us to watch the season come to a close. Jayden on the inside at Hell Corner, or at Murray's. I'm going to get him right, promise. Gab is just losing so much ground. We're going to take a look real quick. I want to see what happened to Sean Sullivan here, because we had a crash. Sean Sullivan now pretty far back in the field going into McPhillamy. He is, can't see who he's behind. Interesting. He must have cut the inside curb and then lost the nose of the car and then just straight into the wall, and that is just that's a race ender.
Yes.
Taking a look right now.
That it certainly is.
Yeah, it is. That is tough. That's tough stuff. Back to Gab Chavez, who again scraping walls seems to be the rule of the day for Gab on the mountain. Let's jump in with Tanner Schiffner here. He's getting ready to go down Conrad Straight, and he's actually really close now to Jake Hewitt. He's actually lining up on the inside, and we've got an LMP3.
That is Luke Patrick in the background there.
Luke Patrick has joined
as well.
Yep, he's trying to win the heat race, and he doesn't want to get involved in this at all. But this is the battle in front of him. Jake Hewitt touches the curb on the exit of the cutting, and now Luke Patrick's going to move through. He's going to try and thread the needle. He does, getting set up for an inside pass here at Murray's. No harm, no foul. Yep. Golden Rider is here for the 5:30. Thank you so much for joining us. Nice. The 5:30 of Christopher Blue, one of Track Limits Racing own. He's been with us for, I think at this point, almost every season except one.
Yeah, I would say all but one. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the GT3 is running the lone Corvette entry. We're going to check in with Christopher right now, who's currently running down in 5th overall. Going to try and get him some points. Let's jump back over to that race right now with JQ and Tanner Schiffner. It is going into Griffin's.
Coming up. Yep. Going into the cutting.
Yep.
Just beyond it. And I got to imagine they're going to be swapping like this up until the checkered flag or something unfortunate happens.
Indeed. Yep. All right. So, yeah, they are pushing the absolute.
And then there's I believe that's Ryan Nolan behind them, along with
Gian Cardoso.
Yes. Yep. That is Gian Cardoso in the tail end of that, and that's going to break up that fight a whole bunch as Tanner Schiffner has to lift to not run into Ryan Nolan and then also Gian Cardoso.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go down in the skyline, and oh man, everybody made it through alive, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
that was that was something.
Coming up to Forest Elbow
it is super dicey.
Cardoso taking the widest berth possible to try not to run into these two. It's interesting to me how almost not quick the LMP3 is out of that corner compared to the GT4s.
Oh, what I suspect is I suspect that the traction control system is reading a book at the time. Like it's not doing doing traction control system things. It's like better, like the traction control system in the LMP3 around a track like this is probably better as a microwave oven than it is as traction control. But anyway, everybody alive, and Tanner Schiffner is going to take the fight back to Jake Hewitt. In the meantime, Mike Bowen, Gab Chavez.
Oh my gosh.
The battle continues. They are still going at it. Catching up to one of the GT4s. I believe that is Adrian.
Marozek.
Newcomer. Glad to have Adrian here.
Gab Chavez is going to force it around the outside.
So here's the thing. Don't know about you, but Corey's getting ready to go into Corey's right here. They're going up the mountain straight right now.
Getting ready for Griffin's.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Corey with this right-hander. Like the inside line is deceptive. A lot of people try to send it up the inside. Not really a good line. It's a stranger corner than you think. It's more than 90 degrees, and the inside line makes you take an acute turning angle, and usually you get caught out.
Yes.
So
usually you end up having to lift to not run into the wall on the far side because it looks like it's a 90-degree corner. It feels like a 90-degree corner when you're driving through it. But as you look at it on paper and you go, you try to take a different line through it, you realize it's not with how quick the wall comes at you. And so Griffin's Bend is a very fun one after the mountain straight to get to. The beginning of, I would say, the fun climb up the mountain.
Oh, here we go. We're going to the finish right now. Luke Patrick going to come across the line. He's going to take this heat race here. And 22 seconds back is Mark Coyne. That one accident set the LMP3 field in a completely different area right now. So Mark Coyne getting ready to come across the line. So the heat race really setting the grid, and it's going to be jumbled up when we go into the feature because the folks are going to be kind of like scattered all to the four wins here, but they'll get that figured out. So Mark Coyne going to take some good points home with the feature race. Emery Anderson is third in LMP3. Like Emery Anderson with an absolute clean finish here to finish third overall. Really good result for Emery with Jaden Ledbetter coming across the line in fourth place. Ethan Hamlin's going to finish ahead of some LMP3 runners with Mike Bowen in second. So Ethan Hamlin, Mike Bowen, then Gab Chavez is going to be third in GT3. Let's take a look at those GT4 runners. Jake Hewitt already in the pits. He's going to take the top spot with Tanner Schiffner and Matt Pyle going to round out GT4 Pro. Oscar Brown with a two car buffer to or no more than a 2-car buffer. I think that's like a 5-car buffer to points leader John Newman. So Oscar Brown and then Adrian Maruzek and Dave Schneider going to be the podium for GT4 AM. So I think we got quite a setup here as we get ready to go into the feature race here.
I think we do. I think the interesting part is going to be watching them all get sorted back out with the shortened pace lap for the feature race, because all those cars that are finishing further down the order will get just scheduled in where their overall finish is, and therefore they're going to have to work their way back up to get in line with their proper classes. Unfortunately, amongst all that, we also saw Gian Cardoso have a connection issue. So that's how he ended up so far down amongst the drivers that did not finish the heat race, as we get set up for this feature race here in a moment. I get the feeling it's going to be a very intense, very long feature race with a solid pit window to throw everything into, I would say, add more to what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's anything to suggest otherwise. I'm gonna see if we could get the grid. For whatever reason, I cannot get the grid to actually show up.
We're in warm up, so give us a couple minutes, and then we'll have the grid. Oscar Brown saying that was less chaotic than I thought, and I was like, just you wait. I think you just missed it the first time, because there was plenty of chaos happening on this track here in a moment.
Yeah, so we are in the warm-up phase, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into the 70-minute feature race here at Mount Panorama, round 7 of the sports car series here with Track Limits Racing. I'm going to put the Discord link in chat. If you're interested in being a part of the community, you should definitely check it out. That's the place to go to get all of your information on the sports car series. You're going to want to follow along if you want to participate in the first season of 2026 when that officially gets announced. But we will have one more round for you all on January 3rd. We have the series finale, 100 minutes at the Red Bull Ring. I think it's going to be an exciting show. It's going to be a very different track from Mount Panorama, Finn, but I think its short, quick nature with multi-class racing, especially with that pit entry, that pit exit, I think it's going to be wild to watch.
I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch. I think the nice thing about Red Bull Ring that I don't think a lot of people talk about is that, much like VIR and a couple other places that we're at this season, is it's pretty wide for most of the track. There's plenty of space for drivers to battle on. I think there's only a couple of places where I would say maybe don't. It's a little thinner there, but I think you still tend to too wide if you had to. So I think that'll be interesting there too. A little bit different than here in the mountain when there's only really one good line. Yes, you technically can put 2 cars in most parts of the track. Should you though? It's another story.
Indeed, it's going to be a wild finish for the sports car series here for 2025. I am really excited to see what this 70-minute feature race is going to show us here in a moment. Want to remind everybody, we got 50% fuel capacity cap, all cars in the field. Pit stop strategy here is going to be a big deal, but do you know what's going to be the biggest deal, Finn? It is going to be not wrecking. It is going to be trying to minimize your time in the pits. Going to be the secret sauce.
Yes, I can guarantee you that will be the secret sauce that will get you anywhere good, is just not being in pit lane. It was our strategy at Bathurst 12 this year, was just don't get a meatball. As much damage as you want, but no meatball. No required repairs.
real quick with the abbreviated lap, Finn, I'm going to run through these real quick. We've got Luke Patrick,
Go
Mark
for it.
Coyne, Emery Anderson, Jaden Ledbetter are your top four, with Benjamin O'Shea, Gian Cardoso, Vincent LaRue, and Tyler Crow are going to be your first 8, with Cameron Robertson rounding out the 9th one.
Are you on the heat still, or are you on the feature?
I'm on the grid. I'm really hoping it's the right one.
Okay.
But we'll keep rolling through it. It looks like Ethan Hamlet, Mike Bowen, Gab Chavez, Tommy Cogan, Christopher Blue, Kerry Nolan, with Ryan Nolan and Sean Sullivan with your GT3 runners. We got Jake Hewitt, Tanner Schiffner, Matt Pyle, Ryan Buchanan, followed by Corey Lobner, Oscar Brown, Paul York, Adrian Maruzik, Sophie Bozeman, Dave Schneider are 9th and 10th in GT4, with John Newman, Andrew Seelig, Logan Branson, and Eduardo Zamora rounding out the field. So we're going to go ahead and hide that real quick. Jaden Ledbetter has already jumped to the pits. I hope that's not a problem.
Well, it may be a choice. I mean, I've done pit lane starts too. It turns out, according to what I've just seen, is that Jaden missed the start.
Jaden misses the start. So,
as does Luke Patrick.
Well, that's going to be a race strategy choice. So looking right now, I do see Mark Coyne at the front of the field with the LMP3. I am Mark Coyne. Yep, it is going to be quite interesting. Let's stay on board with Mark Coyne. I mean, seriously, let's stay on board with Mark Coyne. Come on, there we go.
There we go.
So Mark Coyne and Emery Anderson are going to lead the LMP3 field here in round number 7.
Oh, this will be good. This will be good. Emery Anderson going to get a great launch out of that.
I think Emery Anderson's actually got a run on Mark Coyne as they get ready to go into Hell Corner.
Yeah.
Cold tires are going to be a thing here, folks. And
they go too wide.
Yep, they go too wide. Yep, it's going to be spicy. We're taking a look as they go up the mountain. Let's go jump on board with Ethan Hamlet as he comes across the line. He does get the jump. Mike Bowen again locked in battle with Gab Chavez, although Tommy Cogan's here to cause some harassment in the 55. And there is Mr. 530 himself, Christopher Blue, in the background with the lone Corvette.
GT4s having to contend with the LMP3s that started from pit lane.
Oh my
Jake Hewitt getting a great launch there alongside Tanner Schiffner. So no rest for the wicked in the terms of our championship contenders for LMP3 Pro, as they already start in the pack. Managed to get through before they get into the mountain, probably for the best. But the rest of the field buttoning up pretty nicely behind Jake Hewitt in that GT4 field, looking to at least get started pretty solidly. I think Corey Lobner getting around Paul York once again early on in this one.
Yeah, it is already pretty tight. Let's pull up that track map, take a peek. All the car classes with that abbreviated start really jammed together. Cameron Robertson already caught up with Emery Anderson, and it looks like Vincent LaRue is actually going to try and get around Cameron as they head down Conrad Strait and into the chase. Andrew Seelig and Tyler Crow have crashed. We'll go take a look at those in a minute. Start of the lap was actually kind of clean. I do see Cameron going off track, but he does manage to keep it going straight. Going to jump back, take a look. Eduardo Zamora, we got GT4s throwing their elbows out on the mountain, and Eduardo Zamora already has, does that become like an M3.8 or something? Do we lose a little bit there?
I think it's just a 330i at that point because of the damage.
Look at this. Corey Lobner, Oscar Brown into the chase. Oscar Brown on the grass as they go into the chase. Hitting that chicane, Corey Lobner is going to find his way around. Paul York now here to harass, and he's going to find his way around as well.
Yeah, both. Oscar Brown's not going to let him go fighting. Going to hold that line, force Paul around the outside, but I think it's one that's Oscar Brown's, I think, just taking it easy based on what I'm seeing here early on, just trying to keep that car out of the wall and on the right path is the goal.
Yep. It is going to be buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. This one is going to be sweaty. It is going to be, it is definitely going to kick in some heart palpitations. We got John Newman right now. He's in front of Logan Branson, Eduardo Zamora, and Dave Schneider.
Man.
We got ourselves a nice little train here, and John.
Ooh, Eduardo Zamora.
John is leading us on the outside. Now, see, he's got the line set up now as they get ready to go into the cutting. But did he lose a little bit on Logan? And is he going to force the issue? Looks like they are going to go side by side. Logan's going to have to do something about it.
Well, keeps making contact with them as they're going through the cutting. Got a flash out of Logan Branson. Not super thrilled with that by the looks of it.
Not at all. But at the same time, we got ourselves a nice little scrap on our hands. And we're, ladies and gentlemen, we are 4 minutes into this race. 4. It is going to be a spicy meatball. You should hang around to see how it all turns out. Jay Hewitt, again, in the lead of GT4, tapping on the brakes, trying to get the front end to bite down a little bit as he's getting ready to go into the entry to Forest Elbow.
I got most of the LMP3 field has been labeled as crashed.
Oh, no. Let's go see if we can take a look and figure out what has happened there. If I go up the order, oh, wow. What is happening? Let's go.
We start with Andrew Seelig or Mark Coyne. Both seem to be related.
So here's Vincent LaRue going into Murray's. Everything looks fine. He's labeled as crash, but he seems to be fine.
Okay. Maybe it's just erroneously now tagging people as being crashed.
Well, not only that, too, I'm seeing, it's weird. I'm seeing a weird shuffling of the order on the overlay. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I think it's just something probably relative to like reporting. We're probably going to get more information. They're probably going to sort themselves out here in a minute. But I do still see Mark Coyne on track. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a bunch of reports show up.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, me either. Man, I got to take a screenshot of this. This is something else. Yeah, we're going to take a screenshot of that real quick.
Yep.
We got to save that one for the future because I just need to point out that iRacing is DirectX 11. What can I say?
What if it's the what gets labeled as crashed slowdown amount?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that it keeps cycling, which is kind of weird.
I see. It's almost like if you hit Andrew Seelig again, it almost looks like it's like the last, like whoever goes through that final corner there, the Murray's corner. I think that's where it's triggering based on what we saw of Vincent.
Yeah. We're going to take a look now. Kerry Nolan is being harassed by Jaden Ledbetter as Jaden has unlocked hard mode here at Bathurst as he's moving through the GT3 field. Both him and Luke Patrick. So definitely some close action going on here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I know it's been a bit of a rough broadcast, but the action's been good. The fights on track have been great to watch, and we've got 70 minutes of this. We still got. That looked whatever that was. That looked rough.
David Schneider make a quick touch with the wall. Seems to come out of it okay.
So we're on board with Eduardo Zamora as he's trying to navigate John Newman into the chase.
John Newman playing defensive here. Over the hill. Might have compromised his exit, which may cost him more speed than he can regain. Eduardo Zamora look on the outside to make the move.
He's got the squeeze.
But John Newman's got the resilience, and that's going to be a drag race down the start-finish stretch, and he's going to end up causing Logan Branson to also be in a fight now with Eduardo Zamora, looking to take that fight back to him from earlier, and that's going to be I worry that cooler heads will not prevail for those two based on the interaction I've seen between the two of them.
Yeah, Eduardo Zamora does find his way around as they get ready to go into quarry. There is a touch from John Newman. John Newman understeering, but he does keep it on track.
But that's
That causes John Newman to get shuffled back. Logan Branson
Yeah.
moves ahead with, I believe that will be
Schneider.
Yeah, Dave Schneider in there as well.
Oh my gosh! And
John Newman, he's losing the back end. Oh, he's keeping it together.
Yeah.
Everybody's
He's
keeping it
contact with
together.
the wall. As with Eduardo Zamora, it's going to pit and I think retire that car, or at least take it to pit lane. Gian Cardoso also in pit lane.
Yeah,
as well
a
as
lot.
I believe
Yeah.
Chavez.
Not sure what happened there. Christopher Blue, he's in the thick of. Actually, Christopher Blue.
What happened?
That is an abbreviated version of the Corvette there.
That's a Corvette missing a front end.
That Corvette has seen better days. I don't know if the added downforce is going to help or not. I do see Gab Chavez in the pits. Was there an accident involved?
Let's see. Yeah, I see Gab Chavez listed as crashed. I also see Gian Cardoso listed as crashed from their incidents earlier. Actually, I think we'll be able to like actual incidents and not the stuff we saw earlier.
Yeah, let's go take a look at Gian right here. So this is Gian in the cutting, and he seems to be fine. Oh, he touches the curb as he gets ready to go into Griffin's Bend, and that is an immediate spin around, and the wing is gone. So he's going to take it to the pits. Gab Chavez goes off track. I do see a couple of other off-track moments. Let's go see. We're going to follow along with Gab as he goes through the first of the off-track moments, and that is I'm in what is it? Quarry, and it didn't go well.
Yes.
Oh no, he's not in Quarry. He's in Solomon Park.
I'm just going. Yeah,
he's in Solomon Park, and the front end of the car is already kind of whacked a little bit. He's getting ready to go into a high downforce area here at McPhillamy.
Oh, that's kind of Skyline for. Okay.
Everything
keeps it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. What further happened then?
Wondering.
Okay, we have. Hold on. Let's see. A couple more seconds. I think maybe till the next incident.
Everything seems to be fine. Okay. I mean, there was a little bit of a scrape on the exit of the wall. I think everything's okay. But yeah, he's got some damage. So I think he just brings it to the pits because he needs those repairs. I'm still trying to figure out where the other off track comes from. He's getting ready to go into the chase. Maybe he just outbrakes himself.
Maybe Cal classifies the two different off tracks between when he went from one side of the track to the other.
That is true. That could be it as well. But Gab Chavez, he's going to dive into the pits. Let's take a look. He's back. Christopher Blue still driving around. Oh, now he's going into the pits.
Oh, he's calling it.
Yeah, we are 11 minutes in, and it is pretty wild already, as you can imagine.
Pandemonium.
Actual chaos. Tanner Schiffner still chasing down Jay Hewitt. And Matt Pyle just perfectly content to sit back there and just let them hash it out. And, if you guys end up stuffing yourself in the wall, I'll be fine. So the GT4 action between these two just continues. Closest battle on track by a country mile.
Well, I'd say Cameron Robertson, I think, is either trying to stay in front of or just passing Tyler Crow.
Okay. Christopher Blue has a fixed Corvette, comes out in front of the GT4 field.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, the GT4 field, let's talk about this real quick. The GT4 field has done a pretty decent job. They are all still relatively there. Like they have been managing to keep themselves kind of out of calamity. And it seems, and it shows on the track map. I'm going to take a peek real quick because we do still have Oscar Brown, who is now chasing down Paul York.
And hot on their heels, you'll see him in a minute, not a minute, but a couple of seconds here, is one LMP3 of Gian Cardoso who's gotten his car repaired and back out on track. I think John Newman has made another, at least it's labeled as another crash. And then Ryan Nolan as well, who is in pit lane.
I think I don't know about you, Finn, but the on-track action we're seeing here right now, The field's going to spread out a little bit more. I think we're going to see a little bit of this craziness until we hit that 30-minute mark. Gian Cardoso's really got to figure out how to find his way around Oscar Brown without both of them ending up in the wall.
Well, they're at the forced elbow, so I think he can hold out for a second longer. He's got a clear runway to at least get around one of these two.
Jake Hewitt does lose the position to Tanner Schiffner. Do we have a drag race on our hands? We do.
It's a drag race, yeah.
Yep. And yep, does look like Tanner Schiffner is going to make his way around Jake Hewitt. Jake Hewitt not going to let him. He's not going to go quietly into that good night.
Especially with how good of a run he had through the chase. And as we come down to Murray's, I think there's a switchback looking for the inside. Keeps the nose in. It's kind of figure out how to get out a better exit as a result. Matt Pyle caught up to both of them as a result.
Matt Pyle going to try and mix it up here. So with Jake Hewitt on the inside line into Hell Corner, like, is he going to force Tanner wide enough? I think Tanner's going to have the run.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about that opening corner.
What is about to happen here as we go into Corey? We got 3 cars basically touching.
And Tanner's got the inside line, but Jake's got the outside, and Matt's trying to find a way through the middle.
And Gian's in the background. Oh, dear. This is going to be crazy.
Yep.
This is going to be so crazy.
I think they've calmed down for the moment as they get through Corey's. And into the run up to the skyline.
This is my favorite part of the track. I love the exit. Yeah. I love the exit out of Griffin's. You got the walls right there, and then you've got Solomon Park going into McPhillamy, and it is just full commitment. It is absolute full commitment. Like, you are just, you might be feathering the throttle to keep the front end gripped up, but it is right up to the wall, right up to the curb, right up to the dirt. I've seen so many brave souls in their race at McPhillamy Park.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
No, there's a corner right before Skyline McPhillamy Park is just one that either makes or breaks a great lap. Like you said, you're pretty much from the cutting, I would say, even up through that entire section, full commitment, flat out, almost regardless of which car you're in. It, like, how much you feather, I think, is what changes really. But, you're pretty much flat out the entire time. And then when you get to McPhillamy Park is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. As Mark Coyne now adds into the fray.
Yep, the race leader of LMP3, Mark Coyne.
Hardest working man in sim racing.
That is that's wild. So let's what I think we should do, Finn, to give people an understanding of what we're talking about with the chaos here. I think we need to get a nice onboard shot. Who do you think would be
Vincent LaRue would be, because he's right behind everyone, working his way through. He'll be right behind these drivers as they come in.
Okay, so you get to see Bathurst through the mail slot as we go up the mountain now, approaching the cutting. Vincent's going to have to navigate this GT4 traffic with absolute care in the cutting right now. GT4s are going to be on the brakes so much sooner. Minimum speed for the LMP3s are going to be so much higher as we now go up Griffin's Bend. Go ahead.
I'll say the one thing I love about watching Vincent drive, he has such good, I would say, decision-making skills in terms of when to pass multi-class traffic. Of course, I say that as the time he doesn't do that, but that happens every now and then. But I'd likely say that, most of his driving ability is, that is
Andrew Seelig. That is Andrew Seelig.
Yeah. That was a destroyed engine. Yeah.
And then through Forest Elbow now, he's going to move all the way out to the wall, trying to take the straightest line possible through a hairpin. It's tough. Tough out there. Now down Conrad straight, full beans. You can see the steering wheel shaking in his hands as the flat and rigid chassis of the LMP3 tries to navigate the road surfaces of Mount Panorama. Which, by the way, this is open road when they're not doing racing. These are actual roads that they're racing on right now.
Yep.
And then into Murray's and corner exit all the way out, full commitment, comes across the line. And it looks like he's going to post a 203.99. I think that slowdown that he had to run into with the GT4 traffic kind of caught him out. We're going to jump out of the car with Vincent and take a peek real quick, because I do see something involving Jay Hewitt going off track here. We're at Murray's. He gets way too much of the curb and slides in the dirt a little bit, and that's going to give Tanner Schiffner an opportunity to maybe get a little bit closer. Switching back to the live feed right now, we're going to take a look. I believe Corey Lobner and Ryan Buchanan, some Mustang on Mustang action in GT4, and we got some LMP3s in front. I believe that is Emery Anderson and Cameron Robertson still battling in LMP3 AM.
Yep, looking for that LMP3 AM lead, and not much separating those two drivers at this point, minus the desire to get through all that lap traffic they're now running into for the top half of GT4 Pro. But these two, Corey Lobner getting around Paul York at the start and then continuing his climb up from there early on to bring this battle to a head.
Ooh, I do see Luke Patrick going off track. I believe Paul York off track as well. We're gonna go take a look see and see what happened here.
Oh my God.
Into the wall, right on the entry to McPhillamy Park, and both cars are just sent into oblivion. And Luke Patrick jumps to the pits. Paul York comes back out on track. He's gonna try and limp it home.
I think he is.
That front right looks broken, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, but he's going to try and do it and minimize as much toe time as he can. Watch him as he's nursing this thing around. He cannot take these right-hand corners worth anything. But Paul York is going to grin and bear it as he tries to navigate Forest Elbow. He's got some GT4 traffic catching him. Now, here's the thing. If he can minimize the damage that he's going to experience, that front right suspension is collapsed, but it does look like the wheel's still attached, and he is able to go in a straight line. He's going to limp this puppy around. Suspension.
And hopefully it doesn't slash a tire too badly in the meantime.
I believe that is one of... Which GT4 is that going around? That's not Dave Schneider.
Matt Pyle, I believe.
Matt Pyle.
Or sorry, Sophie Bozeman.
Oh, Sophie. So Sophie getting around Paul York. Paul York going to dive into the pits, going to minimize the damage by doing this. And maybe we're going to see Paul dive in or switch on to maybe a longer strat to try and lengthen out before he needs to take his next stop. Taking a look right now, we got Sean Sullivan and Gab Chavez. This is actually the replay. Well, let's jump over and see if we can find out what happened live as they come out of Hell Corner and headed up the mountain right now. Gab Chavez is right there with him. So let's get the nose shot here as we get a good look at the undercarriage of a Mustang. That splitter looks pretty brutal. Oh, they're on the brakes as they go into Corey, and full commitment out of Gab. And Sean Sullivan's just like, after you, sir. And he's just like, I've got a cooler head. I'm going to get to the end of this race. So Gab trying to make up for lost time, and actually has done a really pretty good job, right? I mean, he's up in 5th now after the start of the race. So he is he's making ground.
Yeah, especially given the damage he had earlier on. He was definitely getting able to get that car recovered and get back out running pretty quickly, which was I think fun thing to see. We'll see how that impacts the pit strategy for him in the back half of the race when everybody else is kind of caught back up to him in terms of the pit cycle.
Shout out to Bullsy in chat with the follow. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for joining us for round 7 here at Bathurst. We are at Mount Panorama in beautiful Australia for the penultimate round of the Sports Car Series, our last season of 2025 before we go into next year. We will have the series finale, folks, January 3rd. Red Bull Ring, 100-minute feature race, 3-car classes to round out our final season of the year. Corey Lobner, Citrus Farmers Racing, he is all over the back end of Ryan Buchanan, and it looks like Oscar Brown is actually catching up. Or no, that's not Oscar Brown. That is a GT4.
That's that's GT3 of Tommy Kogan, trying to get around both of them. And I think Corey Lobner's going to try to capitalize on that gap that got opened by that GT3. Unable to do so, though. We'll slide back in behind Ryan Buchanan as they get into Corey's and up the high commitment sector of that's run up to Skyline.
Do you see that we have another crash label for Luke Patrick going into Skyline? What happens here?
He just got this thing repaired up over its cold tires. Look at that.
Oh, and then the front end goes into the wall, and that's basically it. Like that is going to be. Oh no, he's going to limp it around.
It's moving. Yeah, I would say it doesn't. I think it looked worse than it was initially. Yeah. So
now those tires, though, they are going to be something for sure. "24 minutes have elapsed. We do have a number of folks that have taken the early pit stop due to damage. I think this is probably going to be a minimum of a 3-stop race for a majority of the field. Just dealing with the shenanigans on track. I think dealing with damage is going to be pretty much the crucial piece. Definitely want to try and minimize your time on track if you can.
Yeah, they want to minimize as much as you can.
Corey Lobner catching himself out by surprise and finding himself on the grass.
Well, I don't think he was expecting that early. It almost looked like a little bit of an early break from Ryan Buchanan in the process as well. As he was trying to make sure he hit his braking marker. I think Corey just wasn't quite expecting the early run. That and probably, I think, missed it maybe a little bit himself. But everything looks like it panned out successfully.
Does look like Matt Pyle and Brian Buchanan all in the 16s that last lap. I think just traffic slowing down the field quite a bit. We are going to go take a peek now at Vincent LaRue, who has found a way to catch up to Mark Coyne with just raw pace. Mark Coyne is not being a slouch right now. Traffic must have held him up 204 to Vincent's 201, but the pace relative to both of those, the previous lap, both in the 59s, Benjamin O'Shea in the 59s as well, got caught out on pit road going in. I wonder if that was intentional. I wonder if the pit stop was intentional or not, but he committed to it, and now we're going to see with 26 minutes how that's all going to fare out in this 70-minute race. We do have Sean Sullivan in a crash. Let's go take a peek at that real quick. Sean Sullivan has a broken front end. That car is busted. What happened there? Sean Sullivan goes off track. Sean Sullivan crashes. Let's take a peek at this one. So we're going into Murray's.
Yep.
He's past pit road. He's on the brakes. What happened here? Oh, he loops it.
He rotates. Yep.
Oh, and he catches the wall right there, and it broke the suspension. And man, he went that far. I'm really shocked he did not get DQ'd.
Yeah.
That was a long way to go backwards. And I'm saying, I'm not saying that Sean's being like unsafe. I'm saying the car's broken. He can't get it to turn. The front right is completely hosed. Wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. Oh, we got some more crashes. We got some more crashes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Buckle up. We got more to go. We got Dave Schneider. We got Dave Schneider here. We're going up the mountain. Dave in the GT4 AMG.
Cutting
Back
just gets
end is
loose.
just,
Oh.
I think he just went into cutting too hot. Front end
Yep.
is gone on the AMG. He probably can limp that home though.
Yeah.
John Newman also labeled as
This is
crash.
good work.
Let's see what happens here.
This might be one of those slow rotations through. Or, nope, slides it as well. Similar thing we saw with Sean Sullivan just a moment ago.
Tommy Kogan. Oh,
Tommy
Paul
Kogan.
York. Oh, unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Nobody expected that to go down like that, and that is really unfortunate. We got a whole host of people now diving into pits. I think this might be the genuine cycle starting. It might be starting a little bit early. We got a lot of people that dove into the pits. Although, actually, no, I might be wrong on that. Mark Coyne, Cameron Robertson in the pits. Mark Coyne on the jacks right now. Vincent LaRue is going to take the lead of this race. Mark Coyne, we're going to see. So Mark Coyne pitted. Benjamin O'Shea pitted 21:15 for Ben O'Shea. And we got 21:33 for Mark Coyne. Benjamin O'Shea is going to sneak around Mark Coyne on the exit of the pits. They're going to be close, though. Okay. They're going to be real close.
Drag race with Tyler Crow amongst them.
Yeah, and Tyler Crow still trying to recover from the start of the race, but Mark Coyne is I don't know who took tires or how, but it's going to be, I think, pretty cold tires on Mount Panorama is going to be tough to navigate. More people coming into the pits. Ethan Hamlet was on the jacks for 21:53. He's going to rejoin the track, and he's going to be alongside Mike Bowen, who's actually going to take the lead of this race, but it is a drag race now down towards turn number 2. Paul York in there in the mix. Ethan Hamlet gets jumped in the pits. Would you like to know how, Finn?
I would love to know how.
Mike Bowen pits on lap 8 early. He's on the jack for 13.78 seconds with a 48.62 second pit stop total. Ethan Hamlet pits on lap 14 for 21.53 and a 55.82 second pit stop. So early pit stop, the undercut for Mike Bowen pulls him back into this race, and we've got more crashes. You're going to be shocked to hear the news. Another crash. Cameron Robertson.
Yeah. Robertson, what happened? Skyline coming back down to the dipper. Now
that was he decided he didn't even want to try to figure out how to Austin Powers his way back around. So he just decided I'm done here. We're going back to the pit. So Ethan Hamlet still trying to chase down Mike Bowen. We got Vincent LaRue in the pits, 22.63 seconds on the jacks, a little bit more than Benjamin O'Shea, Mark Coyne, and he comes out behind both of them with a 1 minute 0.25 pit stop. I wonder if pit entry or pit exit was a little shaky, but Vincent LaRue coming out in third. Emery Anderson in the pits now with Jaden Ledbetter as well.
I'm curious if he just had that extra lap of fuel to take because he came in a lap after both of them. And since we're only at 50% fuel capacity, that full tank meant a little bit more. There's just less fuel in it, is my thought.
Oh, man.
Given how kind of similar it is.
Luke Patrick's day goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, I see
what happens
you mean.
here?
I think it's become his Achilles heel of the gosh.
And the front end is gone. Everything on the car is toast.
And is the rear wing.
Yep. And he jumps into the pits. Toast. And I think he's just gonna like try to forget that Bathurst is a place. And move on to round 7. Corey Lobner as well.
He jumps to the pits. He's an off track about 10 seconds before that pit jump. Further, so he comes back on track.
Oh yeah, that's McPhillamy Park. Into the wall at Solomon, and then just the front end just grinding, and then I think the right front is broken, and he's just like, no, we're good. We're good. So we missed all the pit stops, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that. We're going to get you caught up as we take a look at this order. But right now, let's take a look at Benjamin O'Shea, who inherits the lead of this race after the pit stop cycle by really outracing Mark Coyne, at least through the pit strategy of pitting on lap 13.
Yeah.
Managed to sneak out a little bit more time. Also just averaging lap times a little bit quicker than Mark Coyne. However, Mark Coyne still has the faster personal best. So I'm thinking the hardest working man in sim racing is not to be counted out at this phase, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to see what Mark Coyne can do to battle back here. Vincent LaRue coming out the pits in third after losing about 4 seconds relative to Benjamin O'Shea and Mark Coyne, and he's going to have to work through some of this traffic to catch up. Well, actually, Mark Coyne is trying to work his way around Sean Sullivan as they go through Solomon and McPhillamy Park right now. And man, passing on the inside of McPhillamy Park, you got to have some serious bravery to try and do that.
Well, it is a place I think Mark Coyne saw Vincent LaRue do it a couple times. You can do it. It's usually a spot for the GT4s, at least they're lifting. GT3s is a little bit more, less of a lift, less of a spot where they can easily recover from that.
Yeah.
So you won't see them do it behind a GT3 as much, but it'll be interesting to see how this pace differential applies to these two drivers as they basically are chasing down respective GT3s at this moment.
This is crazy. So the GT3 of the Mustang is just pulling this LMP3 around the track right now. They go into the chase, and I think either now or in a moment, this is where Sean Sullivan's going to probably just let Vincent LaRue go. To be honest, I don't think that was probably too compromising. We're going to see when he comes across the line what the time is. A 2:04, not the best in the world, but also not the worst. Just taking a real quick peek right now. Let's talk more about pit stops, because the pit stop shuffle had huge impacts in GT4, ladies and gentlemen. Tanner Schiffner, Matt Pyle, Ryan Buchanan are your top three. You're going to notice we're looking at somebody who's not inside the top three. That's Mr. Jake Hewitt, because he was in the pits for a minute 13. He's on the jack for 37.08 seconds. So that's either tires or damage. One of those two is being taken into consideration here. He may be saving those fast repairs for a little bit later, but he also might be taking those tires because I bet people are chewing through these things. And he's all over. He is all over Ryan Buchanan right now.
Well, the personal best lap times between the two, about 0.8 separate them, as well as almost about the same amount for the most recent lap time between these two drivers. So,
yeah, this is just craziness right now. Sean Sullivan is really trying to find his way around, but at the same time, too, he's being extremely patient not to get involved. Christopher Blue crashes at Skyline, but it looks like it might have been a slide, and he might be able to get that thing home. Vincent LaRue's in the pits. Vincent LaRue jumps to the pits. Did something happen to Vincent?
I believe so. It is Vincent LaRue crashed. Vincent LaRue jumped to pits. I'd like to believe that may have been something.
Go take a peek. Oh, we are at Skyline. What happens here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Trying to avoid that.
Fine.
And loses
in the dipper, and then he just
that would have been
wall.
savable. Nope. Okay.
I think he just didn't want to try and figure out how to navigate turning the car around. That is the one thing that is like extremely difficult. I don't think we can make the audience understand this. When you get that car fully perpendicular with the wall in some of the sections, like in the dipper, in the S's, on the entry to Forest Elbow, it is incredibly difficult to get the car turned around. It's very challenging. And the thing is that you've got people barreling down the mountain. Now, hopefully, the sim racing community that we're a part of here at Track Limits Racing is noticing that yellow flag indicator when they're getting ready to go into Skyline. They're like, I might be in danger. So,
or I might be putting somebody else in danger by just continuing this course without changing my actions. I would say this league, I absolutely would imagine that they are paying a little bit of attention there. I think that's why we see, thankfully, none of the incidents we kind of see with the individual spins at Skyline and the Dipper there turn into these big multi-car pileups that are, race adjusting. It's just for outside of the driver that spins. And like you said, best way I think to try to convey it to somebody who knows nothing about sim racing is spinning in any part of the mountain at Bathurst is just turning it into the Austin Powers go-kart or golf cart meme where he's trying to turn around.
This is your race leader right here. What is about to happen to Benjamin O'Shea? We're going into the Dipper, and just like with Vincent LaRue, now he spun it around
360.
I wonder if he's going to be able to get away with that. I'm looking at the front end of the car. It looks okay.
Yeah, it might be a little bit hurt for Aero, but it doesn't look like it's undrivable. I'd say I wonder what the in-car looks like if he has a wheel held in a certain direction to get it to...
No, it looks relatively straight.
All right.
He might have just gotten super lucky.
Yeah.
Super lucky from Benjamin O'Shea. He's in the pits, though. He's going to pit early.
Yeah, I think he's going to grab that fast repair and top up on fuel, and that'll probably, I think, take him to the end, is my guess. He's right within that window what I would consider where the final stop needs to happen. If he can do a fuel save from here, he'd be fine, or might have to come in for a splash. We'll have to see.
So we're going to see where he's going to outlap relative to Jaden Ledbetter. He is off the jacks, moving towards the exit of the pits. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Jaden Ledbetter, in the meantime, in the background. Jaden's going to smell blood and exiting Hill Corner right now. He's going to say, that LMP3 is not that far up the road. Jumping back now, Tanner Schiffner in the lead. Right now, I've got a 5-second margin to Matt Pyle, but he's got to navigate the less than 5-second margin to all of the faster class cars that keep zooming around him as he's trying to go up the mountain now. Paul York has gotten a little bit closer to Dave Schneider now, and we've got some GT4 traffic as well. I believe we got the 007 of Ryan Nolan, and I believe that is that Kerry Nolan in the 44?
I see Corey Lobner.
Excuse me. It's Ryan Nolan. It is Kerry Nolan in front of Ryan Nolan. But where's Cameron Robinson at? Oh, he's behind Sean Sullivan. That is so weird. Oh, that's because he's. Never mind, ladies. I'll figure it out. I'll learn how to read. Want to give a shout out to Daggero in the chat for the follow. Thank you so much for the support. You're watching round 7 of the Sports Car Series here, brought to you by Track Limits. We are we're hanging out here. We got a 70-minute feature. We've got less than 30 minutes left. The action on track is continuing to heat up.
Every time we think it's gonna maybe calm down.
Corey Lobner's in the wall. Corey Lobner just deletes himself. What happened here? What happened here, man? Getting ready to go into...
just over rotates, catches it, and then...
Unfortunate. Broken front end for Corey.
That is a quite deleted front end.
So Mike Bowen, Ethan Hamlet, ladies and gentlemen, still going at it with less than 30 minutes. Mike Bowen with the undercut, really bringing himself back into this race, I think has been the spiciest addition to this feature race so far. One thing I did want to take a look at, Finn, if you'll follow along with the action on track for the folks at home, I did want to take a look at those points with drops because I am very interested to see that Corey Lobner take in that shot and go into the pits with Tanner Schiffner in the lead. We're talking big points gains right now. We do have only one drop round calculation for GT4 Pro, but we are talking 231 to 208 is the delta.
So yes, and we got to know this. I'm guessing, I get the feeling if this isn't already Corey's second drop round, I believe it will be if that's another 0 there. Yeah. Which, knowing Corey, probably will get back out and try to finish this one. The question is where he'll end up, and that might still end up being a drop round for him, depending. I can't imagine this gap closing a whole ton, especially with another win in GT4 Pro for Tanner Schiffner, only basically increasing that number as a different round has turned into a drop round for him. Oh my gosh, as Ryan Buchanan splits Mike Bowen and Ethan Hamlet coming into the Dipper.
He's got to find a way around. He can't mess around. Let Mike Bowen off into the distance. Mike Bowen, in the meantime, is just going to try and drive off as fast as he can. Did want to talk about, you were talking about the closeness of it. So Corey Lobner has no drops right now. If I'm looking at this correctly, Corey Lobner still has no misses so far. So this will probably be, if not his first drop round, it will definitely be his second for sure. The thing, though, that could potentially ruin his day, Ryan Buchanan's only 192 right now with one drop round calculated. And Ryan Buchanan right now is running in fourth, I believe. Yes. So good points for him if he can make this stick.
Seeing Mike Bowen diving into the pit lane.
Yep, and see, he's probably good. He's probably good to the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, once he gets done with his pit cycle, he should be probably clear to the end. I'm curious to see how much he'll need to employ the fuel strategy he has right now. Mm-hmm. And if Ethan Hamlet will have a different fuel strategy at the end, seeing as he'll be pitting a little bit later.
Yeah.
So
the other thing to think about, folks, this part to the end, especially as these pit stop cycles start to happen over the last few moments of the race, this is going to be where being smart with traffic, being smart with your pit stops is going to make the most impact in your race, because you can take a look at the interval. You don't have to have us spell it out for you, but everybody's spreading out a lot. But we still have pit stop cycles and a whole host of other things that could come into play here, including more crashes. Sean Sullivan here as he's coming. No. I think he's getting ready to go into the cutting here.
Yes.
And he's on the brakes, but I think he's just going in a little too hot and the rear end into the wall. But that's a very salvageable collision. So Sean Sullivan's going to skate out of that one. Not unscathed, but definitely with a sigh of relief that he doesn't have to jump to the pits.
And he still has his wing attached. That's a really big thing there. Anytime you hit the rear end, you always have to worry about whether or not your wings still tie down to your vehicle, especially with the GT3 machinery. That's such a huge proponent of their rear downforce. And in these slower corners, or even actually in the slower corners, but even more so in the faster corners, that is what holds down the rear end, which is where the power is also being applied to. So that tendency to slide and drift / spin out only gets amplified when you don't have a rear wing, which is the big concern there.
For whatever reason, Sean Sullivan is showing is in the pits for me. Oh, that's because I'm on replay. I'm ding dong. That's why.
I would say, are you?
But we're back with Ethan right now. I want to take a look at Mike Bowen right now, because he actually came out behind his teammate Tommy Kogan. Tommy Kogan does have yet to pit, though, and Tommy pitted on lap 14, which would be the same time that Ethan Hamlet pitted. So we might be able to use Tommy as a bellwether. And Tommy is like, I'm going to go ahead and get right with the fuel and get to the end of this race. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested to see what the other GT3 runners are going to do. Another person I'm interested to see what he's going to do is this man right here, Mr. Mark Coyne, who does get back in the lead of this race. Benjamin O'Shea is currently 26 seconds back, but there is a 5-lap delta between their pit stop cycle. Benjamin O'Shea is a bit off cycle relative to the other LMP3s.
Especially as given that incident he had earlier, puts him a bit in an interesting spot where he has to figure out if he can make the fuel savings work to only then do a one stop, or if he has to work on more of a fuel margin. I get the feeling we'll see the rest of the GT3 field begin to filter their way through. Top up, be good to the end. I think Tommy heard us talking about him being kind of the bellwether, like you were saying, or the harbinger, if you want to use another phrase for that, if I use that correctly, will be the one that tells that. And so since that's happened, I get the feeling we'll see the other ones come in relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be the folks that are trying to get their fuel right to the end of the race that are going to be probably pitting here soon. Jake Hewitt, continuing to make up ground lost in that pit stop cycle. He is now in the rear view of Matt Pyle as they get ready to go into the chase. And Sean Sullivan splitting the two. Very interested to see if either one of these guys is going to dive into the pits, get right with fuel. Sean Sullivan trying to find his way around Matt Pyle. Like, dude. Meanwhile, Jake Hewitt is just like, I'm just going to hang on to the back of this GT3 and hope he runs interference for Matt. Makes his line extra awkward coming out of Hell Corner. Although Matt Pyle's already right there. He's basically on the gearbox. Yeah. And we got the 52. I believe that is Dave Schneider coming out on track. But he's already down to these guys in terms of laps. But Matt Pyle, Jake Hewitt in a drag race as we go up Mountain Straight. Jake Hewitt will have the inside line as we get ready to go into turn 2 on the brakes. And it does look like Matt is going to let him go. Although
that's close to the wall there, though. Switchback may see Matt not giving this up easily, but he's going to run out of room pretty quickly out there. Cutting is not very known for too wide paying off.
That's a GT3 and an LMP3 in the background.
Yep. That's Vince LaRue and Christopher Blue both waiting to get by this pair that are currently in a shootout for this position. And Chris Blue going, can I work through? And the two of them going, hold on, we're figuring out where we want to be. So we'll see. I think Chris Blue would probably make the look here going into Skyline, my guess.
Everybody being super patient on the brakes with these GT4s that are duking it out for position. Ooh, Matt Pyle.
Loose.
Oh, man, the dipper was dramatic for Matt. And Jake Hewitt is going to try and take advantage of that, pulling into Forrest Elbow ahead of him, straightens out and down Conrad straight. Now, Christopher Blue getting ready to deploy, pull the LMP3 around. I don't think Vincent's going to have enough oomph to get it.
Shocking no one, the GT3s in a straight line end up faster than the LMP3s.
I mean, all they got to do is just take some of that aero off, man. It's an easy problem to solve.
No, they just need a transmission that has another gear. I think would be the thing that would actually solve this problem.
Yeah. I think you're on
a smaller engine, and I think the displacement is the problem and the high speeds there.
Yeah.
They only can go so fast before the engine goes, I cannot push anymore. I'm out of push. But he'll get that done in turn number 1, and everyone's on their merry way.
So Jake Hewitt moving up into second now, closing that gap down to Tanner Schiffner. Almost all the way. We're still waiting to see when either one of these guys can pull the trigger on pit stops. Dave Schneider had to go into the pits, but I do think Dave Schneider also might have had a collision. Taking a look through the rest of the field right now, trying to find who is going to be the next car to watch for. I think Sean Sullivan's pretty far back from Ryan Nolan. Christopher Blue in the background. Almost, I believe that's 4 minutes. But yeah, order's really trying to get itself sorted. We got Adrian Maruzik in the rear view of John Newman, who is staying bolted to the track, trying to close the gap to Oscar Brown as much as he can.
Yeah, that's a pretty tall gap to get through, especially given, I think, the incidents they've had earlier on in the race. See them where they are.
One other thing we have not talked about yet. Drive-through penalties. They are live, ladies and gentlemen. So 20 X's and people are going to start getting joker laps. And, I mean, I'm seeing some off-track counts that are not that high, but I think a majority of the X's people are going to be getting, they're from collisions.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be real tough for us to get an understanding of what's going down here as we are at the past the 52-minute mark. So we've got 18 minutes left in this race, less than 18 minutes. Still waiting to see more pit stops. Mark Coyne in the lead of this race to the tune of 27 minutes. Cameron Robertson's in the pits. Emery Anderson holding 4th overall in LMP3 and staying relatively close to the front runners on the lead lap. Jaden Ledbetter digging himself out of the ditch after not gridding and being 3rd overall, especially with the fact that Luke Patrick, I believe, is retired from this race.
Yeah, I saw him disconnect a little while ago.
So, I mean, that is going to be big news for Jaden Ledbetter and his points race with Jaden or with Luke. I see Poopy Paul in chat, and he's vibrating. I'm taking a look. Where is Mr. York? Mr. York right now. That may not be the same Paul, but anyway, right now he is trying to hold off Jake Hewitt.
Yeah, that looks right.
And I believe he's a lap down. So's Gab. Well, Gab Chavez is going to move around the outside. Paul York being super smart going into Solomon Park, trying not to broadcast or curse him into the shadow realm. But he's got another LMP3 coming, and oh Lord, it is Mark Coyne, race leader.
It is race leader Mark Coyne. I get the feeling as we get in the closing stages here, we might see a couple more scraps develop as these positions change and intervals crunch back down. I think Mark Coyne in a bit of a good spot if he can keep it clean. Saying Jaden Ledbetter getting himself back into 3rd after starting from pit lane is entirely due to not crashing. The thing we talked about a while ago. It is still, I think, the number 1 tenet of Bathurst Mount Panorama circuit. To really the hallmark of to finish first, you first must finish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The thing that will the kind of time that you want to have on track, not in the pits. You want to try and minimize that as much as you can. Matt Piles into the pit lane on lap, what are we? 28. So it's lap 24 for him. Is that an indicator of when we're going to start seeing the final pit stops out of GT4s?
I'd have to imagine that that's the case. Sometime soon.
Benjamin O'Shea's in the pits. Benjamin O'Shea is in the pits.
I think that's scheduled because that'll be about any time from now, I think, is when he can come in if he needs to take a splash. And that means that he had to, which I believe we'll see Jaden Ledbetter take over P2.
Yep. And Emery Anderson right now coming out of the chase. That splash was 4.9 seconds to be exact. Still waiting to see what Mark Coyne, Jaden Ledbetter are going to do because Mark Coyne pitted lap 14. Jaden's on lap 15.
That makes sense. And as we're working
in the pits in GT4.
Lap 28. I imagine we'll see them come in soon. As everybody's coming in for their final pit stops.
Ian Cardoso still trying to recover a tough race for him. Been dealing with disconnection issues and disconnects on track. John Newman. Looks like Adrian Maruzik in the 112 does find their way around John. And to see when it is Mark Coyne going to need to do a pit stop or not. That is the question. Benjamin O'Shea with 3 stops on the day.
Mm-hmm. Math states I think he has to because they only made it 15 laps. 15 laps. Pitted on lap 14. So I guess technically 14 laps. Excuse me. I believe That's JQ. Oh, JQ's coming in.
Yep. That's Ryan
Marvelous.
Buchanan coming around right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Buchanan pitted on lap 13, as did Tanner Schiffner.
Okay.
And Jake Hewitt is not going to get out ahead of Oscar Brown. Oscar Brown's going to get to Hell Corner. But is Jake Hewitt? Nope, Jake Hewitt is probably going to get out ahead of Matt Pyle.
Believe that checks out for the moment.
So, yeah, he's going to get out ahead of Matt Pyle. Still waiting to see what these GT4 front runners are going to do. The folks that pitted on lap 13, they have 25 laps total on the race. So they are almost even with their pit stops. Ethan Hamlet now in the pits. And he is flying to the line. Wow, what an entry. That was
seemed to get it down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got it down. It's just he took the absolute straightest line through that chicane. He's not leaving anything to chance in terms of time. Where's Mike Bowen at? Mike Bowen with the Giga undercut. He's just now coming to the chase. Oh, I think Ethan might have this one. I think the undercut did not fare well for Mike Bowen. 10 seconds in the box, and Ethan's already at the cone, and he's full throttle.
I get the feeling the traffic was not in the favor of Mike Bowen either.
Ooh, Mark Coyne in the pits. Yep, final pit stops, ladies and gentlemen. Starting to finally happen. Jaden Ledbetter just now coming down to the chase. I think he's got plenty of time. I think Jaden may have to pit as well. We're going to find out where's Benjamin O'Shea, though. Benjamin O'Shea's at the chase. He's not too far behind Jaden. I think about 15 seconds if the overlay's telling me the right news. Tanner Schiffner's in the pits. Ryan Buchanan is 22 seconds back. Oscar Brown, where's Jake Hewitt relative? We're going to see. I think to be honest with you, I think Jake Hewitt might have lost too much time in that first pit stop. That's going to be a hefty margin to, I mean, we're talking, although literally everyone dove into the pits in GT4. So
yeah, Benjamin
O'Shea not going to get around Mark Coyne or Jaden Ledbetter. Both of them out.
Jaden still needs the pit.
Yeah, Jaden still needs a pit. Mark Coyne has.
Yep.
Oscar Brown, Ryan Buchanan in as well. So Jake Hewitt back out on track, and he is 8 seconds behind Tanner Schiffner.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I think that first pit stop's going to cost him.
I think. Yeah, that first pit strategy, I think, was just a little too long. I think he was trying to get damage repaired based on what you were talking about earlier, and I have to agree by looking at it a little more. So,
just taking a look right now. So, with this, ladies and gentlemen, we're inside 9 minutes. We've got a little over 8 before the end of this race. Not a lot of cars that are close on track. I think it's really now down to nailing your pit stops and dealing with the traffic, because the traffic is still, it's not going to stop until the very end of the race. Mark Coyne currently holding 1.1 seconds on Jaden Ledbetter, and that's after the two of them have pitted, and Jaden is right there. Jaden. Now Jaden's going in the pits. Okay, I know he pitted twice. I was just like, So it's probably just the way that he handled the pit stop.
Yeah, he was trying to make it a one stop. I think he just didn't have enough fuel saved earlier on to make it happen, based on how late he was trying to run that fuel down.
So now Jaden's big thing is he going to hold the position on Benjamin O'Shea? I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Given that he just now reached his box.
Yeah, and I do think he will get out ahead of Emery Anderson. And Emery Anderson's coming to the pits too, so Emery Anderson's going to have to...
he needs to get his second stop done.
Yeah. So after all of the pit stops have come and gone, we've got our race leaders in their relative categories kind of on islands. We've got Mark Coyne 16 seconds ahead of Benjamin O'Shea, with Ethan Hamlet 13 seconds ahead of Mike Bowen, and Tanner Schiffner is 9 seconds ahead of Jake Hewitt.
Yeah.
And I think a majority of the field now has pitted to get to the end of this race. I think we've got a few that are kind of like their lap times and their placement is kind of sticking out. But I think this is what it is.
I believe, this will be where a lot of these drivers end up in terms of their races today. And I have the feeling we may see, Ryan Buchanan crashing. That might be interesting if that's a big one or a small one.
Looking back right now, trying to see it. I don't see it on my overlay.
Maybe I just got an erroneous flag of him just being a little slower. Seem to have gotten any of those this race.
Yeah, there have been lots of weirdness with the overlays involving the crashing, but the field is kind of where they are, I think, for the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to come down to can you survive? We got less than 6 minutes. 20 people.
Have to imagine.
Go ahead, sir.
I was saying, I'd have to imagine it'd be at this point the time to do it, but with positions still to play for, like I believe this one between I was going to say the one between Matt Pyle and the others.
So we've got the camera moving around, just following people. We do have a crash. Sophie Bozeman going into Skyline. What happens here?
Yeah, I just saw them duking it out. I thought this was for position. I think it was for Sophie not to get lapped. Oh.
And then the front end just gets toasted, and that's going to put her in the box probably for the end of the race, I'm going to assume.
Unless she can tow within 5 minutes and has a fast repair on offer. I think I've seen her already use a fast repair once, though. I may be wrong in who I'm thinking of, so it's very possible.
Yeah.
You might see her get one more lap in before the end, but I think that may be where she ends up for the evening. I think Sean Sullivan also calling it an evening as well.
A tough race for everybody. The number of cars that the attrition has been very large. We've got at least 6 cars for sure that I believe are out. And if Sophie doesn't get back out on track, that'll be 7.
Yes.
So it has been a tough race for everyone involved. Gene Cardoso in particular, we got him on screen. He's been just trying to survive and minimize the damage of round number 7.
I always talk about how much I love Bathurst. I think it's the same reason I love the NERB combined, or the Nordschleife in general, is the unforgiving nature of it. There is no room for you to miss an apex or a corner, as we saw Christopher Blue go off in the background there. With some rare exceptions in this case, he just, I think, over rotated there. And
into the wall. Is the right rear busted?
Excuse
me, the left rear. He might be able to crab walk it. It does. Yep, that car is crabbing.
That is a huge amount of crab.
That car is crabbing. And he's trying to. Benjamin O'Shea crashed. What happened here?
And
Benjamin O'Shea. Is that John Newman? Oh no.
Yeah.
Benjamin O'Shea getting here. And then he just loses the back end
catches
of it. And then John Newman trying to get around it. Oh,
able to do
unfortunate.
so.
Christopher Blue jumps to the pits. John Newman stays out on track.
Hits
Benjamin
back around,
O'Shea.
yeah.
Oh man, what disaster.
Oh. Well, I think we got the white flag out for Mark Coyne. Therefore, the rest of the grid when they come around.
It's pretty close. With that though, with Benjamin O'Shea, that puts Jaden Ledbetter back into second with Emery Anderson finishing third again.
Wow.
Or was it Cameron Robertson? I think it was Emery Anderson that finished third.
Yes.
In the heat race. If I got it wrong, please forgive me, guys. But yeah, it was. It has been. I mean, just again, I think it goes without saying this has been an absolutely brutal race.
Yeah.
Just no question.
Yeah. The Bathurst is never a forgiving track on a good day. Yeah, in multi-class, it is definitely, I think, one of the harder experiences that the drivers here at TLR are going to experience this season, as well as probably in a couple seasons to come, in terms of the actual track driving. Because I think there's a whole, there's racecraft with other drivers and stuff like that to worry about, but there's also fighting the track itself. And I think there's not one that you fight quite as much, with the exception, I think, of the Nordschleife as Bathurst, in terms of getting everything right so you don't crash. And there is no room even for a small error on this course, especially in the mountain. Once you get down here on kind of the more, the calmer side of not the mountain, you're usually a little bit more fine, but the mountain will never forgive you.
Indeed. Let's have a little story time here. Mark Coyne, the hardest working man in sim racing, has been part of track limits racing for a long time. And Chris Turner, I'm gonna have to remind him that he was not in chat for when Mark Coyne took down the 70 minutes of Bathurst in LMP3, ladies and gentlemen. What a race for Mark Coyne. What a result for Jaden Ledbetter.
Yeah.
Who started with the GT4 field after he didn't grid. So, really good result. Really good result for Jaden Ledbetter. He's really going to be impressed with that. But let's talk about the LMP3 AM winner. He's got to get it home. He's getting to Forest Elbow right now. Emery Anderson, third overall in an LMP3 field that has some absolute juggernauts in terms of pace right now. But pace, ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't the story here. It was about staying out of the wall, staying out of cars, staying on the track, and staying out of the pits. And Emery Anderson ticked all the boxes. And he's going to find himself coming in third overall, Finn.
That he is third overall, first LMP3AM. I think it's such a testament to the thing we've been talking about of just as long as you don't crash, you will still get a solid result. And I think it's the thing that puts Vincent LaRue right behind Emery Anderson, is that Vincent LaRue had a couple of spins earlier on that has cost him that podium position tonight, despite having the fastest lap overall.
Yeah, 58.92 in race trim, like ridiculous.
Jeez.
But Vincent LaRue going to come across in fourth place. Ethan Hamlet, he's coming out and he is just wiggling the car down the straightaway as he takes the race win here at Bathurst. Mike Bowen gave him a heck of a fight, though. I thought the undercut was really going to make this a spicy finish. It didn't turn out that way, but man, did Mike Bowen really put on a show for everybody. And somebody else who had a very dramatic race, but managing third in GT3, Gab Chavez.
Great recovery drive.
Great recovery drive. The absolute, the Chad of Indianapolis is here in Bathurst, and he's getting a result that'll give him some good points. Gian Cardoso does manage to get the car home after a very, very struggle of a race for Gian Cardoso. Tommy Cogan, he's going to be coming across the line, I think, in fourth in GT3.
Yep.
Oh, let's talk about our GT4 runners, because we got Tanner Schiffner, who is going to put more points on the board. Jake Hewitt managing to finish in second. Jake Hewitt's going to be asking what happened in those pit stops.
I saw him just now, said I shouldn't have taken tires in the all teams chat in iRacing. I think tires is what did him in, because I think, like you were about to say, that first pit stop cost him so much.
What just happened with John Newman just now? No, he's gone. He's gone, ladies and gentlemen, because his car, he just went through the jump, and he had Jaden Ledbetter there as a ramp, and we saw him go off into the shadow realm. Anyway, so GT4 is going back to it. So we got Tanner Schiffner, Jake Hewitt, Matt Pyle, top 3 in pro. Oscar Brown, 5th overall, 1st in AM. Logan Branson coming in 2nd. John Newman, though, minimizing damage with a 3rd place finish in GT4 AM and cutting that
8th overall.
Yeah, 8th overall, cutting that gap down to Oscar Brown in terms of points damage to just 2 spots. So again, it is still, I think, a lot to play for going into the final round for GT4 AM. And then we have just attrition. So much attrition from P22 down to P31, just constant attrition here. It was an absolute brutal race for everybody involved. We lost 9 cars in a field of 31. That is that's a big deal. But for the folks that stuck it out and got the points, or for the folks that lost it in the last throws of the race, did finish an adequate distance to get points, it's going to be a big deal. So yeah, I think, Finn, it's going to be interesting to see how the points shake out going in the final round.
I think so. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially given how tight some of these battles already are. And then I think they're only going to get closer together. And I think we always end up talking about it the most. One of my favorite things to talk about, GT4 AM never fails to deliver an exciting season finale. And I'm excited to see Oscar Brown and John Newman settle that difference here, hopefully, at the next round.
Indeed. Taking a look real quick, we'll run through the results, Finn, as we get ready to close this one out. But there's your LMP3 Pro results. What do you take away from this race?
Mark Coyne coming out with a win, really showcasing the thing we talked about in kind of the pre-race and the transition between the heat and the feature. Just staying on track and not having incidents or damage or, getting caught up with stuff will get you a good result. And 20 seconds to Jaden Ledbetter really shows. I think that would have been a closer fight had Jaden stuck or had actually gridded correctly. But I think Jaden made a bit of an error. I think Luke also made the same error, so it worked out really well. In terms of that battle that they had for most of that race. I think Luke, unfortunately, trying to push a little too hard, trying to catch back up, costing him that moment there. 2 slides in Skyline. I think he just had a line that was not the most stable running through that. I think outside of those two, Vincent LaRue, a great first time out with that new paint job and that Passion Semi Sport team. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he will continue to improve with them over the course of the rest of this season, as well as next season at Track Limits Racing for the pro stuff.
Indeed. Let's talk about LMP3 AM, Finn, because I think we got some big news there with the top spot, Emery Anderson.
Emery Anderson, I am super excited, especially given that I think Jake Fulton is out tonight.
Yep, Jake Fulton out.
For this AM race. So I think that'll put that fight for the points a little bit closer.
Yep.
With only 183 to 179 that's for Cameron Robertson. So I think that will it'll still put the points closer. I think Cameron Robertson has a bit more margin there to close up, and especially with Jake Fulton taking a 0 here. It's going to be an exciting battle for the final point spot, her final points race for these drivers as well. But I think Emery Anderson really solidifying P3 in the AM championship. And then Tyler Crow, I think, having a rough time, but I think that's when you're about your 4th or 5th race, long endurance race at Bathurst is when it finally starts to be something that you can do successfully very well. Yeah. And I guess I'm mostly speaking from experience here. I wonder if that threshold hasn't been crossed for Tyler yet, and we'll see him get some more improvement with LMP3, especially as he gets more into it. I think Bathurst is not the best first race for somebody who's just jumping into the LMP3 from GT3 that we saw him out with a Porsche earlier. So hopefully with Red Bull Ring coming up, that's such a nicer track to, I think, learn on or really develop and showcase skills that you spend time developing, especially with 2 weeks here instead of just the week of practice between these past two races like we got. I think we'll see a better showing out of him, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a tough race to start on the LMP3 here for Tyler Crow, but like you said, I think Red Bull is going to be a little bit better. Traffic management is still going to be a thing, but we're going to see how it shakes out for Tyler. But Emery Anderson with that result, he's got to be super proud of that. Let's go take a look. Yeah, brutal is the name of the game. But somebody who managed to meet the moment when it comes to a brutal race, Ethan Hamlet, top spot in GT3, keeping his head on a swivel, comes away with the win. Mike Bowen shaking things up for us in the middle of the race. We thought it was going to be super spicy, but Mike Bowen coming home with the second place finish. That's a big result for him. And Gab Chavez putting himself back into the podium discussion here at Bathurst. A good result for him. Tommy Kogan minimizing damage. Fourth place finish. Tommy Kogan shows up, scores points. Not surprised. We're going to see what Red Bull Ring's got to offer. We're going to see how this shakes out for Tommy. I think GT3 is going to be an interesting one to watch.
I think it is. I'm super curious to see how the points change when we add in a second drop round, and where the split between Ethan Hamlet and Tommy Kogan closes down to or opens up to. I don't think we saw Kyle Potter here either. So seeing how that impacts the point structure here with a 0, that drop round for him, if that moves him up or down. I can't remember if he's missed any other rounds this season or not, to add to that. Either way, Christopher Blue, I think, going to close down his gap to Sean Sullivan as well with that one. Not by much, but just by a little bit.
Yep.
So we'll see how this all... I'm excited to see how the second drop round points shake it all up once more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. You're going to have to keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen, to see how GT3 resolves itself as we go into the final round 8 at Red Bull Ring. For GT4 Pro, one key takeaway I really want to talk about, and that is the consistency of which we've seen the point scoring top 5 here in GT4 Pro with Tanner Schiffner, Jake Hewitt, Matt Pyle, Ryan Buchanan, Paul York. Again, all finishing with solid points for their respective battles. Tanner Schiffner putting more points on the board. Jake Hewitt in chat talking about how he shouldn't have taken tires. Going to need to put your thinking cap on for Red Bull Ring. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think traffic management in the pits, it's gonna be a big deal.
Yep. Benjamin O'Shea coming in to say that his dog pulled his headset cord out and that sent him into the wall.
That is big unfortunate.
That is a wild, unfortunate thing there. Got picked in.
I mean, it's a tough race for everybody. So close us out here. We got GT4 AM.
Yep. GT4 AM. Oscar Brown coming home once again to win this one, I think, is interesting. I think it definitely adds to the that battle we have between him and John Newman for the top spot. John Newman coming home in 3rd in class, only 2 spots behind him as well, is I think going to keep that battle super interesting. It's really going to come down to, I think, that pit cycle, those how those spots are managed, and who makes it to the end of that race. I think just seeing how many as well we had from GT4 AM really makes me super excited. I would love to see, I think, a couple more of them make it to the end. But as Corey Laubner said from earlier, brutal race. Yeah. And despite Oscar Brown believing that it was not as chaotic as he thought, I think once again you got lucky with how your race turned out, because there's definitely so many incidents happening on that mountain with multiple cars involved. So
yeah. It is one of those instances, Oscar, where yep, you can have a bunch of bulls running in a field, and there might be a daisy or two that doesn't get trampled. But it did work out for you, and you do have some really good points going into the final round. And I'm very interested, Oscar, to see how GT4 AM winds up, and I hope you'll be there. And I hope everybody who tuned in for the show will be there with us for the final round, round number 8. We're going to be jumping into 2026 to finish off the season. The Red Bull Ring, 100 minutes for the feature race to finish out the season. I'm super excited about it, Finn.
I am as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
I think it's such a good track that has so much, I think, some good technicality to it without, I would say, the insanity we saw tonight in terms of how the track is laid out. It's a little bit of an easier one to really make it, I think, a skill and, final, fight for this, for the championships and where they all stand. So many close battles throughout all of them. We're going to be, I think, keeping our eyes pretty peeled for 100 minutes next time we're out.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out here. We're going to go visit a friend of the channel, MX5 All Day. I hope you like MX5s. I hope you like really close racing and really interesting road courses. Go give him a shout out from Track Limits Racing. We're going to go ahead, sir.
I'll say our former co-commentator, Logan Branson, recently told me in a stream that he was running was super into MX5s, but wasn't going to run the Porsche production car challenge this weekend, but then ended up running it. So give him a little bit of flack for that. Next time you see Logan Branson in a stream somewhere.
And that is
I just want to put that as a PSA.
Yeah, that is Wookie OH on Twitch TV if you want to go check him out and watch him drive cars. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Philip Millie, Finicini in the booth with me. We're Track Limits Racing. This is the Sports Car Series. We're rounding out round 7, going into round 8 next week. 2 weeks from now. Hope to see you all. Have happy holidays wherever you are, and we'll see you guys at the Red Bull Ring. Let's go ahead and get that raid started, though. I should have been on top of that, but yeah. We'll see you guys all January 3rd, 100 minutes of Red Bull. Take care until then.
Heck yeah.
Should be clear.
Cool. Sweet.